Take a great big breath of air, everybody. I love that spring air. Yes, today we're going to learn about the respiratory system. How does our respiratory system work in exchanging those gases with the atmosphere? Well, let's find out right now. Well, that is the primary purpose of our respiratory system. It's where oxygen and carbon dioxide exchange takes place with the atmosphere, with the environment around us. As we learned earlier this year, oxygen is required for cellular respiration. That's where we get energy molecules out of glucose, the food that we eat. And of course, that produces carbon dioxide as a waste product, and we need to get rid of that. Respiratory system is how we take care of both of those exchanges. And our lungs is the organ where this exchange of gases takes place. So let's take us ourselves here through a tour of the respiratory system, starting from the outside all the way to the inside here, starting with, of course, the most obvious part, the nose. Now, the nose, the external nose, we can, of course, see, but inside of our nose, we have nose hairs, we've got mucus. That area inside there is called the nasal cavity. As you breathe in air, it is warmed up by the nose. It's filtered by the hair and by the mucus for some of the pathogens that we've learned about from the immune system, as well as dust particles and so on. And there's also sinuses and other parts of the interior portions of our nasal cavity as well. It's connected with the oral cavity, which I don't have listed, but you can see on the picture there. The oral cavity is simply the mouth. We can breathe through our mouth and we can breathe through our nose because they are connected in the back in the pharynx area. The larynx, though, is an organ you need to know, and that is the top of the trachea. That is the part that keeps food from falling into our lungs, and it prevents water and so on also from going down there, which would be a very bad thing. It's also where we, of course, talk from. We can speak using our larynx. The trachea is a reinforced tube that connects our nose with our lungs, and it connects to smaller tubes called bronchi or bronchioles. And these are the air tubes that distribute air throughout the entire set of the lungs, of which there are two. The lungs are large, spongy organs where oxygen is taken up by the blood and carbon dioxide is removed from the blood. And the lungs are very, very large in terms of their surface area because you need to have that air, that oxygen and carbon dioxide, make contact with the surface of the lungs in many places so that we can get an efficient way of removing oxygen or removing carbon dioxide and taking up oxygen into our bodies. None of this would be possible without the muscular diaphragm. The diaphragm is at the base of your rib cage. It's a large muscle that, when it's contracted, makes your lungs larger, creates a vacuum, and it sucks in air into your lungs. Take a deep breath, and that's thanks to your diaphragm. And as you relax that muscle, then the air is naturally released through an exhalation process. We inhale and we exhale. Your heart is located right next to your lungs, and there's a reason for that because half of your heart actually pumps blood into and from the lungs so that we can get that oxygenated blood into the other half of the heart pumped throughout the rest of the body. It's critical for our survival. A lot of interesting facts about the respiratory about the respiratory system, I should say. We breathe 17,000 times a day. I'm not sure who sat around and counted those, but it's a lot of breaths. And every minute or so, we get about a gallon and a half worth of air in and out of our lungs. Air is only 21% oxygen, but it's even a smaller percentage of carbon dioxide, 4%. But we know that's an important part because of global warming and some other issues related to carbon dioxide. But we've also learned that trees and plants take in carbon dioxide and exhale oxygen. So there's a circular pattern of these gases. And as I said before, the heart and lungs are close together. And so the left lung is a little smaller than the right lung because the heart takes up some of that space. And there's a lot of surface area within the lungs as well. There's a study guide to go along with today's study, I should say. And so make sure you get this study guide taken care of. And we will continue learning about the human organ systems for the rest of the week.